Morning Andrew, morning Bev. This is Housing 2023. We're in the Central Exchange in Manchester, this wonderful Victorian building which harks back to Manchester's glorious Victorian industrial past. There are thousands of delegates here from all across the housing sector, and I'm joined, Andrew and Bev, by Gavin Smart. He is the Chief Executive of the Chartered Institute of Housing. Gavin, this is your conference. You've spent 30 years, I think. You're looking well in the housing industry. Your organisation covers local authorities, developers, builders, pretty much the whole of the housing industry. Look, housing is rocketing up the political agenda. People are worried about their mortgages. Is there a fundamental shortage of homes in the UK?
So we think there is a fundamental shortage of homes in the UK. A lot of the problems that you can see in the UK housing market, I think we would say, are down to long-term inability to build the numbers of homes that we needed. And we haven't really done that for 35, 40 years or more. And that problem has been storing up over time and getting bigger over time.
And that is really aggravating affordability issues, right?
Yeah. So supply and demand, the less something there is, the more money chasing it, the more expensive it gets. We have real problems with supply driving big problems with affordability, and of course that impacts most particularly on people who are on lower incomes, working households on modest means, who find themselves locked out of not only home ownership but increasingly struggling now with the level of private rents as well.
Andy Burnham told GB News earlier there is a full-scale housing crisis in this country. Yesterday in the House of Commons, Jeremy Hunt unveiled that new charter he's got with the mortgage providers. What did you think of it?
So I think the charter is a helpful step, because what it shows is the government and the mortgage providers understanding that we're about to go through an incredible squeeze, and it is going to need forbearance and understanding and flexibility on behalf of the mortgage lenders to try to get us through that. But we are facing an extraordinary rapid rise in borrowing rates, and that's going to cause real pain and real hardship for existing homeowners who are having to remortgage, and it's going to cause further problems for people who are trying to buy their first home, who are going to find that increasingly unaffordable.
And how about the shortage of social housing, what we used to call council housing, Gavin? We haven't built council houses on a proper scale for years, for decades. Governments of both the main parties.
We have failed to build enough sufficiently affordable housing, what I would call social rented housing, and that has always been a part of the solution when we have built the numbers of homes that we need to meet our needs as a nation. Often a third or more of the homes that we built have been homes at social rent for those people for whom the private market and private ownership is out of reach.